Now recording.
Do you guys like road trips?
Yeah, I
Love
mean,
them.
honestly, I'm
Not
not really
particularly.
What?
Wait, no.
Not a big fan.
Oh, no. Wait, no. No, I don't.
What about like road trips from like Ohio to Pennsylvania?
How long is that?
About 3 hours.
Oh, yeah, that's fun.
That's not a road
No, excuse
trip.
me, Buffalo to Ohio, actually.
That's not a fucking road trip. 3 hours, bro.
Yeah. Well, hey, bro, it was a well.
You're talking.
Listen,
you're talking
Beavers,
to an Australian and a
Beavers,
South African. To go to the shop,
Beavers.
we have to travel like 3 hours.
Beavers, listen to me. A lot can happen in 3 hours. Okay,
That's true.
lives can be ruined, careers can be tarnished.
Right.
So you guys want to talk about
You really,
the,
you really built that one up, buddy.
Great segue. Love it.
I love how when he asked that question, you guys love car rides, we all immediately thought of the most degenerate shit we've ever done in a car. And
That's
then
not
when
true.
Yeah.
What do you mean? I didn't think of that. I was just thinking
Yeah,
of
you
all
did.
the times I've had like horrible stomach pains while in the car and just being like, oh my God, my mom says it's only an hour away, but I don't know how long an hour is because I'm 10 years old and I'm just in pain. That's what I think of with car rides.
Okay, well then
honestly.
you haven't done much in a car.
True.
So, you guys want to talk about the Babs, Edwin, Salvo car ride?
Not particularly,
I'll be honest, I don't want to. I'm forced to be here.
I want to see Babs's. After watching that, I want to see Babs's tits.
Well, here's the thing, right?
Didn't you before?
I actually,
Nope.
I talked to Salvo and Edwin recently.
Oh, really?
Like 2 days ago now. What they brought up, they were like, they're pretty mad about everything happening and stuff, obviously. But what their main gripe was, look, when all this was going down, it was talked about here, it was talked about there, it was talked about this stream, that stream, that stream, that stream. And now that there's some new information, everyone's quiet. And I was kind of like, you know what? Good point. So, and this, I'll be honest with you, sounds like now recording drama. But I think the issue has always been, right, with, and I think you guys would agree. Edwin, when all this went down, Edwin didn't really tell his side of the story, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, he didn't.
Well, what if I told you I have Edwin's side of the story for the most part?
Dun dun dun.
What, I mean, I'm very interested to hear that.
So,
actually.
Wait, is it that stream?
let me
Huh?
explain, Mitch. So when this all went down, when the Babs Keemstar show that all happened, and that all went down, I was watching the Keemstar show, and my first impression while watching was, okay, Babs is telling her side of the story about some weird shit. Holy crap, this shit is crazy. What the fuck, Edwin? But it was, she said many times on that stream that it was consensual and legal. And I was like, all right, cool. It's a crazy fucking story. You can like tell your story, I guess, But later on, callers started calling in, and it became a complete Edwin pile-on. At one point, Paige Christie called in and started asking Babs, like, she started. It felt very YouTube brain. It was like implied consent versus coercive consent.
Oh,
and
not that dumb bitch.
Yeah, and like everybody's kind of like jumping into this right now because everybody loves a good sexual assault story. They love to sink their teeth into that. So when they hear parts of a story, they start their wheels start spinning, right? And then you have like people calling in and saying like Edwin was showing voice calls from Onision victims to his Discord, and then you got people saying that he admitted to being into DDLG. And you even got someone coming in. Someone literally says on that stream, Edwin likes babies. Like that literally comes out of somebody's. Edwin likes babies. So and at the end, like some girls like, I got the clip with the DDLG stuff in it. Here you go, Keemstar. And Keem pulls it up, and it's literally them just being like, we're not into DDLG. So
Okay, but didn't Babs say that Edwin kept trying to talk to her like a baby?
I'm going to go into everything, Beavers.
Can I really quickly, because I have a little thing just to put some of this stuff, because I think this is kind of important when it comes to this type of thing. Let's make no bones about it. People who are coming into this recording are going to have what is known as my side bias, or a sort of it's a normal human reaction. Cognitive dissonance being what it is. When you're presented with new information that doesn't fit in line with your reality, your brain goes, no, I don't like it. Get it out of here. That's not right, right? So, I will say this, that I've had, my own sort of like my side bias with this stuff because, at least with some of these things tangentially, it's related to some of my friends and people have, gotten in a bad way because of some of the reaction that some people have had. And so I've had my thoughts and my feelings about it, but I've taken a good step back and I am willing to listen and hear all sides of this story, Okay. So that's what I'm going to do. And honestly, audience out there, I can't ask of you to do anything. But I can ask you to like, favorite, comment, and subscribe. So please do that if you haven't already. All right, let's go.
So
before we do that, audience, I just want to say, okay, just shut up, Matt. You can get your point out in a second.
I'm after Beavers though.
I'm in the middle of a paragraph,
guys.
Oh, sorry.
It's not our fault. You didn't tell us that.
You got to take a number, dude.
Where's our copy of the Google Doc?
No, this isn't a Google Doc. These are my notes, bro.
Well, why isn't that in the Google Doc?
Fuck you, all right? I was busy.
I thought we were getting Google Doc.
I'm doing.
I thought we were sticking by the Google Doc.
I quit. I had now quit. I'm going on a podcast with Toxic Pip Up. I'm going to call it Stop Recording. And goodbye.
What I was going to say is you're going to get the same thing from me with all of the stuff, but I care about none of the parties involved. So
yeah,
fair enough.
Bias.
Yeah. I remember specifically Beavers when we had Salvo on for that final time, and you said a lot of things. You can definitely tell like you definitely don't care about either side in this situation.
Was that the Spurgies?
No.
What the fuck is Mitch?
Mitch is
Spurgies was the last time we had him on.
Mitch is in the back of the bus. He's got his little special backpack on with his
Mitch,
little.
Have you ever seen Big Lebowski, Mitch?
Yeah, I've seen that.
You're like fucking Steve Buscemi's character.
I love that character. He's awesome.
All right, Mitch, you said you had to say something.
I just wanted to drag it out.
All right. So continuing, I decided to see if Edwin would want to tell his side of the story about everything privately in a call. So like after the Keemstar Show stuff happened, I just thought it was fair. I've hung out with Edwin on streams. He's always been pretty chill with me. So I heard his side.
Touch a dick?
Never tried to touch my dick. Never tried to tell me to take out my dick. Never said I wanted to look at your dick. Anything like that. Also, I am not an attractive woman with nice boobs, I guess.
Oh, you're implying that attractive women have dicks?
Self-report.
So I heard his side of the story, and I, for the most part, stayed quiet about it because I kind of felt like this is a private conversation. Because I was under the understanding that this is that he'd want to let everything out in his video. And from my impression, I thought the video was going to be coming a lot sooner. And I thought it would just be gay to go on streams and be like, well, guess what, guys? I got the Edwin scoop, bros, like, Assistant Sailor did. I did push back for a few times on stream about the Olivia stuff on Xylie's stream as well during the call. He had told me that he had ceased all creations of Mama Max content with him and Olivia when him and Olivia started talking. So that's what he had told me in the call. And so when people were saying like, well, he started talking to Olivia while he was still covering her in the Mama Max stuff, I would say something like, well, if they stop making the content and they start talking to the girl and they stop making the content because they've seen that they're starting to interact with this girl in a more flirtatious manner, is that a bad thing? That's really was my take in that situation. So I just to be as transparent as possible, I've had 2 private calls with Edwin, one just me and him, and then one with me, him, and Xylie and Salvo, which was obviously now recorded. Recently, after Salvo's stream, I ended up talking to Salvo, Edwin, and Dove about everything. And I want to point something out real quick. Dove doesn't, just my first impression of talking to her, she's gotten a lot of shit. Doesn't seem that bad. She was pretty nice from my impression.
Yeah, just like a knockoff Eva.
Yeah,
just
but
not as good.
Yeah, she was just nice for the most part. She wasn't, like I'd like
not as good. Plain Jane.
No, that joke was made.
At all.
The joke was made. But basically, in a nutshell, their major point, like I said, their major point was a topic was covered ad nauseum when it's all going down. And it went on for over a month. And now that Salvo has come back and this breaking topic of Babs actually talking to Salvo and Edwin, everyone's kind of quiet and they're frustrated by that. And I can understand where they're coming from. And when you, and I'll just be honest with you here, this is the perfect topic for now recording. Make sure you have both hands on the wheel and not one on your dick. All right, so Edwin's side of the story. Does anyone have anything to say before I start?
I mean, just other than just the bias thing. I mean, we all have our biases, right? We all come into this with our biases. I'm slightly biased, you know. Obviously, I like Xylee, and I was on that Xylee stream, and I had my personal bona fides with this whole thing. You know, Matt's former SNT. I mean, Beavers is like a fellow degenerate, you know. I mean, like Mitch is Australian. He doesn't know anything. So it's like, you know, I mean, it's like a whole thing. Like we all have our biases, is what I'm saying.
I'm not former SNT.
Oh no! Oh, I'm sorry. No, you were. I meant you were in the Discord, is what I meant.
What? In what Discord?
You were in the weren't you in the Salvo Discord?
He's in every Discord.
The Salvo News Team Discord? No.
No? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, okay. Sorry,
I tried to.
He's throwing out accusations without evidence.
Is Beavers a real degenerate then? I'm confused.
Yes.
Never mind.
No comment. Buddy. No comment.
All right. So Edwin's side of the story starts like this. Edwin's side of the story starts like this. He meets Babs in the Instagram DMs. She's been watching his content, and she said on a Xylee stream that she had been watching Xylee for a year. So she has been watching content, knew who Edwin was. She was familiar with the community. They're talking. He's bringing her on streams. They make jokes about meeting up. He jokes about her boobs. And there's also a joke I specifically remember about them going to Buffalo with her, where Salvo drives and they, quote unquote, get to know each other in the back seat. Heyo. Edwin hangs out with Salvo in Ohio. Everyone knows that. He flew to Ohio to hang out with Salvo, did a couple streams. And then Babs drives over and they all go into Salvo's car as he drives to Buffalo. At some point, she changes her shirt while they're in the car and I think she goes like in the backseat, I can't remember. And she makes jokes about which shirt she wants to wear and which one looks better and sexier, etc. Keemstar show happens. Everyone gets wasted. They go to a bar. They come back. They get, even more drunk. The whole Nicholas Diorio N-word thing happens as well. At some point, Babs offers everyone boob shots. And Chris Anark says he's good because he's crossfaded and he's not trying to throw up. And they give Chris shit for refusing. Everyone goes to bed. Brantley and Keem in one room, Chris in another, and Edwin and Salvo and Babs take the bed in the living room. At some point, they start wrestling. And Babs and Salvo wrestle, and it's very flirtatious. And then at some point, they end up in bed together. Babs in between Salvo and Edwin. The three start making out together. Babs making out with Edwin, then turning to Salvo. Babs then turning back to Edwin, then turning back to Salvo. And then Babs says she wants to have, basically, like, she wants to have sex with Edwin. And Edwin wants the first time to be special, so he doesn't want to. So then she moves to Salvo, and this is where Salvo claims that she had asked, what about Salvo? Like, asking everyone, like, what about Salvo? Salvo claims Babs initiates by putting her leg onto his leg, and what happens is a consensual threesome where Salvo and Babs have intercourse, and Edwin makes out with her. Sex happens, they go to bed, wake up in the morning, eat breakfast, say their goodbyes, and hit the road. They drive for a while. Babs is hungover, so she decides to go in the back seat, and Edwin sits in the front so she can have more space. She puts the shirt over her head to avoid the sun because she's hungover and the sun is killing her. During that car ride, they're talking about the night before, and they ask what she thought about that night, and she says she enjoyed it, and yada yada yada. At some point, she puts her feet on the console, and they end up talking about her feet. She says she thinks her feet are ugly, and they're like, no, your feet are pretty. And they start to give her a foot massage. And as they're giving her a foot massage, they're asking, like, is this cool? And they're giving her the foot massage. Everything with one hand. Edwin with one hand, Salvo with the other. Edwin was adamant that there was no toe sucking, but they did kiss the toes. During this awkward process, they are asking if it's okay, etc., etc., and from Edwin's point of view, consent was given. Salvo asks if he can whip out his dick, and after both say yes, that is when the penis comes out. And it was not a hard penis. Again, this was all asked, and there apparently was consent given. Edwin claims they did not pull over during this. This whole interaction was around 5 minutes long. And just a side note, no ejaculation took place. Babs' story is that she's uncomfortable during this and keeps her shirt over her head. And Edwin and Salvo claim the shirt was always over her head, and she keeps peeking out to smile at them like some weird game of erotic peekaboo. It ends, and they continue to drive. They pull over to a gas station, and Edwin gets out to pee. Salvo claims that Babs calls him sexy and tells him that he could come with her in the back seat if Edwin didn't mind. Edwin comes back, they drive home, get home, and Salvo goes inside while Edwin goes with Babs as they drive to Pittsburgh. Half hour in, Edwin realizes he's forgotten his passport, but Babs decides to keep going because she doesn't want to turn around because she's already going to be driving for a while. They get to her place. She shows him around. He puts his stuff in one room, and Babs says, no, not that room. Go to another room, and says that this room isn't a room for guests, and the room that's not for guests is the dreaded cat room. Around this time, Babs starts getting kind of annoyed because Edwin keeps using what she refers to as baby talk. Oopsie whoopsie, gotta take a poopy, stuff like that, that type of stuff like that, and tells him to knock it off, and it's annoying her. Edwin is noticing that she seems a bit perturbed by him and annoyed. They go out to eat, and Edwin cracks a joke like, hey, you're sitting with the YouTuber, and Babs does not like this at all. And it seems like as Edwin is trying to break the ice with his humor, Babs is getting more and more and more annoyed by him. Eventually, one night, Edwin joins Xylie's stream with Doc on the radio, Beavers, Toxic, me, Ruin Leon, and Xylie. And the whole boob shot thing, the titty shot thing, has already come out with the whole Chris and Ark stuff. And everyone, including me, have been teasing Chris all day about it on why he didn't take the shot. When Edwin joins, that conversation sparks up again. And Xylie kind of goes after Edwin, and she feels like he was trying to pass her off to Chris. Like, why are you passing your girl off to another dude? And Edwin jokes that it's just a test. It's just a test. More jokes are made, calling Edwin Epstein and Babs Ghislaine Maxwell, and a grooming joke is insinuated. Edwin says that Chris and Ark is gonna write a twit longer on her, and Babs jokes back and calls Chris vanilla for not taking the shot. And it's pretty funny back and forth, nothing weird, nothing aggressive. Also, Edwin is asked if Babs is his girlfriend and says no. After Edwin leaves the stream, Babs and Edwin seem to get into a fight over the jokes because she didn't appreciate being disrespected in her own house and felt like Edwin was insinuating that Babs was being weird with Chris. It gets very heated to the point where Babs tells him to leave, but Edwin can't get an Uber, so he goes back to his room. But he forgot which room it was and goes into the dreaded cat room. Babs finds him in the cat room and loses her shit, and Edwin is kind of freaking out as she's yelling at him, not knowing what to do. He says, sorry, goes to the other room. Babs comes back, yells at him some more, sorry, then calls a friend of hers and tells this friend what happened about the cat room, and Edwin's just kind of sitting in the room listening to Babs yell while talking to her friend about Edwin. Eventually, things calm down and chill out, but it's still an awkward few days where nothing seems to really work. Edwin's not really into her, and Babs seems to have lost all respect for him. At some point, Edwin finds himself in the bathroom crying on the phone to his ex-girlfriend Mina about it while he tells her what's going on. And then also, around this time at some point, Bo Blacks finds out that Edwin has been talking to Olivia, and Edwin actually tells Babs about it and ends up crying on the couch about it. Everything apparently ends somewhat on a good note, but it's still really awkward, and Edwin goes back to Arizona to get ready for his trip to Mexico. At some point, he goes on a stream with Xylie, where Brantley shows up in chat and reveals that Babs is with her and Keem in South Carolina, catching Edwin totally off guard. You can tell Edwin is uncomfortable and awkward trying to figure out what to say to this. Now, as I was watching the stream, it kind of felt to me like Edwin was seeing everything kind of come together, and it looked like he was really confused. And maybe that was to me, it was like he was coming to the realization that it's possible that Keem might know about the threesome and all this stuff because now he's hanging out with Babs, with Brantley. But again, this is all just speculation for me. Edwin felt like this was more like her trying to move up the ladder, I guess. During this stream, Babs is listening to it back and apparently did not like something that Edwin said on there and sends him a text. This is the first time he's heard, and I'm going to read the text for you right now. Just give me a second. Everything good so far? Hello?
Yes.
Okay.
What do you want from us?
Acceptance,
We're like,
Matt.
we're like the fucking class, just sitting here listening to the lecture.
All right.
Go on.
All right. So let me make sure I got the right text here.
You don't even have it ready?
Yeah, I got it ready. All right. It was really all just a joke, huh? You're a man. You're mean to me on streams, even when you're in my house. You call your ex and show to me how you're talking to Bo Black's girlfriend, asking her to fly her out around my birthday, sending her and shit we've never done. And then, like, I'm supposed to be cool. Then you're a completely new person when I meet you. I just hope you know I was falling for you all those hours we talked, and I feel like the person never existed, like the person was talking to all the time. Let me find my place. Time died. It emotionally hurts me when I didn't need it. I was really falling for you. This is sad. I hope your phone call with someone else until 5 a.m. is going well. Also, y'all were fucking weird in the car, and you know it. I was hiding my face under a shirt, so fucking watch your mouth about me offering your friend a titty shot at a party when I've never touched him. It's unreal. You got me to like you this much, and this is just what it is now. Now this is just a small snippet of a conversation that that the screenshots are in podcast topics. If you want to read the rest, if you want me to read the rest, I'll read the rest. It's up to you guys.
I mean, no, not really.
I don't think you need to.
I mean, because okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So
sure.
I'll go back to where I'm at. Let me make sure. So Babs heard the stream, text him this stuff. They have a back and forth on text, and this is the first time he's heard that the car ride. This was the first time that he's heard that the car ride was weird, and Babs may have been uncomfortable. And then they text back and back and forth, and things de-escalate. Babs texts Edwin that she thinks that Salvo told the SNT about the threesome, and it turns out that Salvo was making a joke about a threesome prior to all of the meeting. So he was basically just making a joke, like, yeah, me and Edwin are going to go have a threesome as a joke. It is before they had all went to Buffalo. But I guess from what Edwin is saying, when Babs heard that, she's assuming that he's talking about the threesome. So they talk on the phone, and Babs berates Edwin as he tries to figure out what the fuck is going on. This call was recorded by Edwin. Eventually, they come to an understanding, and Babs asks Edwin to not talk about anything that happened between them when it came to the car ride or the night before. After Christmas, Salvo is exposed by the SNT Keemstar, like the SNT and Keemstar, and called a sex pest for sexting girls and cheating on his wife, etc., etc. It becomes a whole thing, and Salvo goes completely quiet. Edwin returns, does a New Year's Eve stream. These streams tend to be really bad luck for Edwin, and he ends up burning pictures of Salvo as a bit similar to the bit of Salvo burning pics of Chris and Keemstar. He also plays a drinking game where he spins the wheel, and whatever he lands on, he has to do. So there's one for like drink whiskey, drink beer, drink water, and there's also a section called Truth. It lands on Truth. Brantley asks, "Did you help Salvo cheat?" In the chat, Edwin kind of looks like to me, kind of panics, says no, and says not to do him like that if you want to play that game. Keem also knew stuff, and yada yada yada. He also says he's a victim, which he claims is a complete joke, and he didn't mean literally that he was a victim. And the stream is actually very, very awkward and is probably one of the worst streams he's done. Babs watched the stream and grew angry that Edwin was lying. Edwin claims he was trying to adhere to the promise of not talking about it. If he reveals that he helped Salvo cheat, then that means he may have to talk about Babs as well. Or if he tries to be vague about it, it could also open the door for people to speculate it was with Babs. Salvo returns, does the interviews, finds himself on Tommy's stream. At that point, Edwin has been going back and forth with Nick and Boblax in the DMs, and Tommy has already asked Salvo on stream about his sexual misadventures on the Keemstar show. Edwin goes on stream with Salvo, and they're asked questions. Nick comes out, and comes on the stream, and he's confused from his DMs. It looks like Edwin has admitted to having sexual contact with Salvo in his DMs, but Edwin eventually reveals that no, they didn't, but there was a threesome. When Nick then brings up the point that if they had a threesome, that would mean Edwin helped Salvo cheat on his wife, all hell breaks loose, and one of the most entertaining streams of the year. Babs then goes on the Keemstar show to give her side of the story, and the rest is history. And that, my friends, is Edwin's side of the story, told to me in a private call.
So Edwin was raped by Babs, is what I'm hearing.
What?
Huh?
Wait, did I get that wrong? I'm sorry.
You might
What were
have.
you just listening?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, no.
What the
She
fuck
shoved
were you listening to?
Babs shoved her toes into Edwin's mouth while he was staring at Salvo's dick because he was so gaily transfixed on Salvo's dick that he couldn't help himself, and he just went for the first thing that was just like, somewhat phallic, and it happened to be Babs's feet. So all I'm saying is that Edwin was graped by Babs. That's all I'm saying.
Wait. Do you think Edwin or Salvo is the bottom?
Edwin.
I don't know. What's the structure of this?
I don't know why you guys needed so long to think about that.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I just got done talking a lot, so
I mean, I don't know. There is
D-Max,
the element
I didn't
of
get your opinion though. What is Edwin the bottom or is Salvo?
Edwin is the bottom.
I mean, I don't want to be homophobic, like Babs is, because Babs is a homophobe. You see, this is what the secret that you don't understand, right? Is that the entire time throughout this entire ordeal, right? She's been going on these live streams, Machiavellian-like. She's been telling this story, and she had it all planned out from the very beginning. So she wrote it down so that it wouldn't change. And she went from stream to stream, and she talked about all this stuff, and she was very vague about it. That there was a detail that nobody had ever heard about, never even conceived, right? Never even thought about. But then, right, she goes on, and I don't know if we're there, so stop me if we're not there, Matt. But then she goes on the Salvo stream, the recent Salvo stream, right, with Edwin and Salvo, where she's talking to them, and she reveals, right, this deep-seated thing about them that they've been trying to hide, which is the fact that, well, Edwin was out that he was bi already, but whatever. That he wanted to have sex with Salvo is the big breaking news. And the other breaking news is that Salvo was not in fact lying when he said that he was gay. We don't know if he was Jewish or if he is Jewish because we don't know if he lied about that either. But we do know that he is gay, and this is a homophobic act because they said it multiple times that Babs is being a homophobe with all this. So I just want to say, as a member of the Gay Filmmakers Alliance, that it's homophobic. I think Babs is a homophobe, and she's probably a rapist too.
Okay, that's not the reaction I was kind of expecting.
Okey-dokey.
Yeah, like I said, I'm having an open mind about it.
Beavers?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I feel like if I say what I'm going to say, it's going to kind of end the flow of the episode. So I don't really want to say it until everybody else has their. Okay. Unless you want me to take the reins, and we can all
take the reins, Beavers. I do not want to be following rape allegations.
I don't know what you want, Matt.
Guys, I just said Edwin's side of the story.
All right.
You guys got questions? Anything like that?
No, because it doesn't change anything.
Okay.
His side of the story changes absolutely nothing, right? Because it's always been a he said, she said fucking ordeal, right? No matter what one side says, and one side said is true and the other side said isn't true, it doesn't matter at the end of the day because it's he said, she said.
Mm-hmm.
I can't come to a conclusion about it. I can apply my own morals to the situation, but that's about all that I can do.
The worst I can say about Edwin after all of that is that Edwin is basically the feminist version of Darius. So
Edwin's a cuck. Edwin's a cuck.
Oh, I would never say that.
No, Edwin is a cuck. I'll say it.
I can tell you when I went to the call with Edwin and he showed me the screenshots. He showed me recorded calls. He showed me a lot, and it just my main thing was, listen, man, if you're going to do a video, please concentrate on the car ride because that was really fucking weird. So I want to hear your side of the story with the car ride. If you do the video, but I can also see the Olivia stuff. The Olivia stuff was I think I kind of said in the call that look, Babs might be a clout whore, and I don't think that anymore. I think Olivia is a clout whore. I think Olivia was trying. She would pile on. She would jump.
Both of them are.
Well, wait. What do you mean, Salvo? Wait. But Salvo said that she fucked Keemstar.
Yeah. Okay.
Did she?
No, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Hang on.
Right. Okay. Right. I said it before the call, but you think that Keemstar's a lot of things, but the man ain't stupid, right? Mm-hmm. Do you think that Keemstar is going to put his dick in something that has a wishy-washy grape allegations going on. Do you really think Keemstar's going to do that?
I mean, honestly, I don't know anything anymore, frankly, Beavers.
Yeah. I think that would be really dumb of Keem. Yeah.
Maybe Keem is dumber than I think he is.
I think when it came to the what the fuck was that? A debate? A blood sport? I don't know. When Babs called in to, first of all, I want to say Babs should have not called into that. I don't know. I don't see why she called in.
Also, yeah. By the way, I want to add to that since we're talking on that point, right? Babs, I don't know what's going on in your life, girl, but you have to have some self-respect.
like she's got to understand.
And they're calling her a bitch. They're telling her that her dad abused her. They're fucking just going at you, and you're just sitting there going, "Yeah, yeah."
But she's got to understand. Does she understand that she has a high ground in the situation? That she doesn't have to go into these calls. She doesn't have to correct Edwin. Like, in many ways, she kind of won. You know,
again, she's a Machiavellian genius, guys. You're not seeing it. This was all a play because she knows that if she does this, there's going to be ripple effects. We're going to make this, recording. There's going to be other streams about it. It's all a part of her Machiavellian play so that she can have one over on Edwin and Salvo. It's so obvious to me.
Look, okay, Edwin showed you those clips of and they've said with the Salvo said in his stream about he's seen the videos or the recordings and Babs is screaming like a crazy lady, right? I don't think anybody in their right mind doesn't believe that Babs is fucking mad as a hatter, right? She's a fucking alcoholic and you can tell by her vibes that it just ain't good, right? It just ain't good. Stay far the fuck away from her.
Edwin really picked the winner, huh? Yeah,
Well, he picked Olivia too, so I guess he's trying to commit career suicide. I don't know.
He didn't pick anything. He even said it himself. He wasn't her guy, right? He kept on saying that. So, I mean, he didn't really pick Babs.
That's a matter of perception, right?
That's
Again, I can see how crazy Babs could get it in him. But then again, is she so crazy if you spent all this time talking together, right? But then the thing is, after you've met up, so you have all this time where you guys are speaking to each other in DMs. You've had all these, like they say, they had all these long calls, and she says that she was falling for him or whatever in those calls, and they agreed to go meet each other, and then you go to the place and you get drunk, and then he says to you, "I want my first time with you to be so special, Babsy," and then his homeboy goes, "Can I hit it?" And he goes, "Hell yeah." At that point, is that really your man?
And that's a good point.
Looking back at it,
look, I can listen. This is what I think. All right, I think Babs at one point really, really liked Edwin. Really had him kind of projected as this cool alternative YouTuber, and I just don't think Edwin really liked Babs. I just think he just saw her as a girl that came along for the ride. I don't think the feeling was at all mutual, and Edwin was simply just maybe this was his attempt to be a little player. And he was probably talking to other girls, like he actually was. He was talking to Olivia. But Babs saw
Edwin's
Edwin.
A fuckboy. You can look at him and tell he's a fuckboy from a mile away.
Yeah, I'm telling you, he is the feminist version of Darius. That's what he is.
You can make the argument that the fuckboy thing, but he was in a long 7-year relationship before all this. So I kind of saw it as he's just broke. He got out of this long 7-year relationship, and now he's like, all right, here are my options. I'm going to go talk to this girl. I'm going to talk to that girl. This girl's in my DMs. That girl's in my DMs. I'm talking to all these girls. That's kind of what I figured.
I can attest that does happen after long relationships. Yeah. You do go into this whore phase.
So,
okay, but they aren't real girls. They aren't real. But they're on the internet. But they're not real.
But when you're a YouTuber, they can become real. You can fly them out. You can go talk to them. You can go visit them. And that's what happened. But Babs
do you think that girl that you're seeing online, right, is going to be as batshit crazy online as she is when you meet her IRL?
90% of the time, they're always batshit crazy.
Yeah. Even if they look normal online, they're batshit crazy.
Yeah.
Even if they're women in the pub, 90% of the time, they're going to be batshit crazy.
If you see a man online, right, it's because men are nerds, right? Men are genuinely nerdy people, sad, don't have lives, right? So they go on the internet when they're done with work, okay? Because that's their version of fun, and they go drink a couple of beers on the weekend. If you see an attractive woman online, there's something fucking wrong with them. Because why are they online?
And the ugly ones too.
Okay, but those ones you don't give attention.
Yeah, they're not a threat. They're not a threat.
No, they're not going to trap you.
I think Babs saw Edwin as like her type and probably really enjoyed his streams, all of that. And she was probably just looking forward to hanging out with him. And Edwin decided to placate this and stupidly went to hung out with a girl he's never met in person for this one night.
With his peers, by the way, with his peers. That is like me meeting a random... Yeah, that's like me meeting a random girl online. And the first time we're going to meet up is we're going to go to dinner with my boss. Does that not sound like a terrible fucking idea? It's an idea. He goes to stay with her for a fucking week, bro. A fucking week.
But remember though, not like he was not her guy. So remember that. It's very important.
I don't know. I just look at it, and it's even worse, right? My whole dinner thing doesn't even come close. It's the equivalent of me meeting a random girl online that I've spoken to online for a bit. I fly her out, and I'm gonna go stay at my boss's farm with him and his family for like a week. That's the equivalent, right? Hey, do you ever? By the way, I'm sure we're all old enough that we've been to weddings and stuff, right?
Yeah.
There's always that one uncle that brings the tart that he met at the bar to the wedding. That's the equivalent. That's the equivalent of what is happening here.
I think what happened in this situation is, all right, so it's obvious that Edwin doesn't feel the same how Babs feels. And then you have this situation where they got drunk, crazy night, they're all laying in bed. You know, whatever happened. There's different points of views on who initiated what. There's making out, yada yada yada. Edwin does not want to have sex with Babs. All right, so Babs turns around and has sex with Salvo. I think in that point, any woman is like, "Yo, you're just going to let me have I'm just gonna have sex with your friend. That's how you feel." Like, fuck you then. I think she just began to lose all respect for Edwin. Like, it just became, now she's got to stay a week with this guy, and he's doing this. She's now seeing this guy for who he is, and not from the calls she talked to. And he's doing oopsie whoopsie, or I got to take a poopy, and all this bullshit. And she's hating it. She's loathing it. And then everything kind of starts from there, and she begins to really she can't stand him. And then you have the situation with the car ride being awkward and the threesome, and he goes on his stream and he's like, "Oh, I didn't help Salvo cheat." And I think that right there, it just turned this for her into all right, fuck this guy, fuck Edwin. I'm gonna fucking talk about it, and then it becomes content, and now we're here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sure. Can we get to that night, right? Because this is something that I want to get into, right?
Yeah.
So everybody has now agreed that there was a threesome, right? All the members involved.
Yeah.
I want these people to define what a threesome is, because I believe what happened here is someone fucked your girl while you were in the bed. That's what I believe happened.
He was kissing her. He says he was kissing her, you know.
Bro, that's not a fucking threesome.
Let's just.
Can I say something?
Yeah,
that's not a threesome.
Can I say something that's probably going to be extremely retarded?
That's hold on. That's like being in a cuck chair, essentially, right?
Oh
it's
my
like
God.
your girl is fucking Salvo, right? And she turns over to you, she kisses you, and then you say, Is this getting you off? Because if it's getting you off, it's getting me off. Yeah, you like Salvo fucking you? You fucking
Beavers,
weird, bro.
Why are you trying to shame them for being? Why are you trying to shame Edwin for being a cuck and being gay? Those are both two beautiful things that he can be and that he is. It's okay.
That was essentially my point, but I was going to do it less jokey. Assuming
I'm
going to say something.
I'm not joking at all.
Oh, okay. I'm going to say something extremely maybe retarded. I don't know. I'm not going to know until I say it.
That's
Assuming
how you do it.
I assume this is all consensual between them, right? But and if it is, then why are we talking about it? We're basically king shaming, which I want to disavow. I don't want to king shame nobody.
Why are you standing up for the cocks, Mitch? Do you have
I'm
something
not
you want to tell us?
Yeah, Mitch, why are you standing up for the cucks?
No, I'm just standing no, because all right, either all king shaming's okay or none of it's okay. All right,
All king shaming is perfectly fine. It's up to the other individuals to care if they care about you king shaming them.
Again, it's just that Babs crafted this narrative, right? That we're not actually talking about any sexual assault or sexual abuse, and that we're only talking about like degeneracy, like moral degeneracy, right? Is what she was talking about. Like that's her talking point. It's Machiavellian. I don't know how people see past this girl with this, you know? It's so obvious that she's just acting in bad faith and being a bad person. It's so obvious.
Let's talk.
Go ahead. The other thing that I wanted to get into, because I'm sure this is the main point that, Salvo and them, they want us to talk about it, right? By the way, the reason we didn't talk about this is because of what Mitch said. It's just that night, I don't care what happened in the car, right? That is that he said, she said kind of thing, right? But we know you guys fucked that night at Keemstar's house.
And good for you guys.
Yeah, you guys said it was consenting. Babs said it was a little bit weird. Whatever.
No,
right?
she to clarify, she didn't. She said that was all like. I don't think she was saying that was weird about the
issue was never that night, Beavers. The issue was a car ride.
Oh, okay.
Right. Which is why it's awkward that we bring that up every time.
Regardless, okay. So everything was consenting that night,
right?
Right.
Sure.
In the views of anybody that has a fucking brain. However, again, like I said, the only thing that you can do in this, like a situation like this, is inject your own personal morals into the situation that's going on. I do think that it is kind of scummy, right, for a man that is 28 and another man who is close to being in his mid-30s to fuck a very drunk girl.
They are
drunk too. They're all drunk, right? But I expect a man who is 28, 30 to be able to handle himself a little bit better in that situation. But that's just my personal morals on it.
Fine. Like I think rock and roll. Like if I'm being like rock, like
that is why you're gonna get canceled.
No, because I'm not gonna do. I think rock and roll. That means I don't. That doesn't mean I do rock and roll. There's a difference.
But why don't you do rock and roll?
Because I have one leg and I'm tired.
That's fine.
I'm just saying.
I've been drunk if wooden leg and start strumming it like a guitar. It's fucking awesome.
I'm just saying. I've been drunk enough times in my life, right, to make good decisions when I'm drunk.
I will agree. I will agree that even with the context of now in today's age, and you're a YouTuber, and not only you're a YouTuber, but you cover situations that involve like dudes getting drunk and girls getting drunk and accusations and all this stuff and grooming and all this stuff. It's probably not the greatest idea to get drunk with a girl and have sex with her, or not even your buddy has sex with her while you make out with her. It's probably not the best idea. Nicholas Diorio optics here, not a good look. You know what I mean? I get it, but at the same time, like it's all considered consensual. She's never said
all consensual.
She's never had any issue with it. That it was just like a crazy night. I just think this was just a crazy sex night, and it's weird. And she told Brantley and Keem about it, and Brantley and Keem were like, "What? Fuck!" And then eventually she got angry at Edwin, and then it turns into go on the Keemstar show to talk about it. And then you have YouTubers coming in and other people coming in and being like, "Well, what about was it coercive? Was it implied consent? You know, the fucking YouTube brain is spinning." And I don't know. Like, I just think this got all mixed up.
All right. So, anybody else have anything to say about? Let's do it in segments, right? I feel like that's the best way to approach this. So, does anybody else have anything else to say about the drunken, in quotation marks, threesome?
Kristen Arch is the smartest guy in the room because he did not take the boob shot.
Yeah, and I might just repeat
that's the other thing.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's the other thing about it, right? With the Kristen Arch thing. Okay, I'm sorry, Babs. Right? Maybe I'm being too judgmental of you, but you're an alcoholic, sis. Right? So like, that's just shit. Like when people say shit about like that about you, I just believe it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? It's just like, yeah, I can believe that you were being slutty because I've known women that are alcoholics. When they drink, they just fucking lose all control. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that episode of Girls Gone Wild? No, I'm just kidding.
Only the commercials on Comedy Central when I was like 16 or so. No, but the one thing I wanted to say is that if there was anything that happened in that bed that was gay, it's beautiful. I don't see why anybody would be ashamed by that. You know?
I'll make this one point about that night. All right, and I think it really builds on this. I feel like if Babs is lying and saying that Salvo and Edwin touched dicks or whatever, if she is lying, then I think that is very bad faith to imply that they were gay with each other. Because I feel like that implies that you kind of out to get them at that point. You know, you're trying to like destroy their reputation at that point.
But what's wrong with being gay?
What's wrong with being gay?
But they're not gay, and you're going around telling people.
But what's wrong with being gay? Why should you be offended?
Yeah.
If somebody calls you gay, if you are gay.
You're going public and saying Edwin and Salvo fucked. Like, I think that implies that, you know, you're trying to tarnish their reputation by being like, what do you mean how?
What do you mean? How would it matter if Salvo and Edwin fucked? Like, how would that matter?
Wouldn't it be like if Salvo and Edwin fucked? I mean, it's just that.
It would be the only the way that they react to that would be how that would be problematic or wrong or weird, right? Like that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I don't understand about that.
It's lying. It's lying.
Who cares?
You know what's fucking mental? This happened, what was it, around Christmas time? We just celebrated Easter and we're still talking about it. That is fucking mental to me.
Yeah, I mean, look, if it's a lie, that's obviously, you know, wrong and incorrect. I just think that there's nothing wrong with being gay. And again, Edwin has already outed himself as bi. So I don't see why it's like if it's not a big deal, then why don't you just shrug it off and like throw it away? Why go around being like, oh, Babs, you're wrong, you're lying, you're a homophobe. You're like, it's like also too, those two things are kind of in contestation with each other, right? Saying she's a liar and then saying that she's a homophobe. Like those two things are kind of counter, right?
There's nothing wrong with being gay, but we need to get him on something more controversial, like being a brony.
There you go. Like, yeah, that is pretty cool.
I've had buddies who had girlfriends who pissed their girlfriends off, and they go around saying that they were sleeping with dudes the whole time, like sucking dick and stuff like that. It's trying to destroy somebody's character. All I'm saying, you guys didn't let me finish my point. All I'm saying is, if she's lying about that, that would imply that she's like out to get them. If they're lying and saying that they didn't have sex and that she's lying, and they're lying about that, then that implies that they're trying to protect something. That's all I'm saying.
Let me ask you this: they did have sex in the threesome. Everybody agrees.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, one person did.
What I'm saying though,
the other one watched and gave encouragement.
But that's what I'm saying though, is that Edwin did not have sex with Babs, but he says that he was engaged with the threesome. What would that imply? Like, you can say making out or whatever, but like that implies something.
It was
and again, I think it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
I mean, the threesome was that like Babs was going back and forth, making out with Edwin and back to Salvo and back to Edwin. I think that's the threesome in the sense.
Oh, so they were like Eiffel Towering her, or what?
No, I don't think Edwin ever had sex with Babs.
Oh, really? That's disappointing.
Boy, where have you been?
I've been here.
Finally, I get to say it.
Yeah, you know how I feel.
You know, like Edwin and Salvo have been. I mean, more Salvo has been pretty graphic about it, right? So, like, at no point did they even say that, like, fucking Edwin slipped a finger in or something like that, right? It was literally just implying there. Well, I mean Babs, but it was literally just
you got to clarify.
Just Edwin lying there, and every now and again, Babs would turn over and be like, "Yeah, is this hot for you?"
Again, I disavow the king shaming here. I disavow.
Look, like I just don't think
you want to. I need to be good with all my cups.
So was Edwin sitting in a rocking chair in the corner, staring at Salvo and Babs having sex?
No, he was kissing her. You know, he was kissing her goodnight and stuff.
No, he was in the closet the whole time,
dressed as Batman.
All right, so I think that's all we have about the night. The night.
Yeah, everyone's a cock. That's what we've come up with.
Well, okay. Well, now, all right. The car ride. There was a specific moment in the debate where Edwin says, "I apologize if for not knowing that you were uncomfortable. And my thing is, what is it like? So there was an apology there, and the apology was that he did not see the sign that she says she was like wrapped up in her shirt. He did not see the signs that she was uncomfortable. Therefore, he didn't see it, so he didn't register it as her being uncomfortable. I believe him in the sense that he did not register that she was uncomfortable. I believe him in that sense, is what I'm saying.
Well, let me ask you this. You've been hungover before, right?
Sure.
Yeah. Would you say that, like, if you were so hungover that you had your shirt over your head, trying to, like, block out the sun or whatever, are you down to fuck?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think a girl would be?
I don't know. I'm not saying it's right.
I don't know either.
I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying he did. I'm saying I believe him that he didn't register, is what I'm saying. Because there's a lot more elements to that situation than just her, like with the shirt on. She's got her feet up on the console.
I mean, it was a Machiavellian play, to be fair.
I can believe, right, that they are socially awkward enough that they didn't register that. I can 100% believe that.
There was a lot going on. I mean, Salvo's dick was out. He was staring at it. So, I mean, like, there was a lot going on.
But then, two things, right? Fair, balanced. Yeah, right?
Mm-hmm.
Two things. The first thing is, right, I don't understand how for the two men in the car, how having to constantly, like they said they were, right, on multiple occasions, having to constantly ask for consent and constantly ask if this is okay and, like that, right? If that is not a turn off for you, right? And a point where you go, probably not going to do this, right? If I'm having to ask someone if something is okay constantly, right? There's part of my brain that says it might not be, and that's why I'm asking, right? And that, to me personally, that would be a turnoff. Second point, and I've said this from the beginning, and the women are going to hate me in the comments for this. Babs could have gotten out the car. Dunzo. I apply the same logic to that bitch that I would to any man. They stopped at a fucking gas station at some point. Could have just got out of the car.
That's what I'm saying.
Got out of the gas
Babs.
station and just fucking sat on the side and called someone and been like, "Hi, I'm in a bad situation."
Yeah, Salvo, don't go with babbling Babs. That's like a Trumpian thing. Go with Machiavellian Babs, because that's a lot more on brand, I think, for what actually is the case.
I mean, also Babs goes and stays 5 days with the guy.
Because she was trying to accrue more details so that she could ruin Edwin's career. Obviously,
exactly.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Wait, what's wrong with her staying with the dude for 5 days?
They had this awkward sexual situation with the uncomfortable stuff.
Oh, that happened after.
That happened before staying for 5 days.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
So she went and stayed with him for another 5 days. This guy who, she didn't register that she was uncomfortable. I just think, like, if you're a YouTuber, I feel like you're going to, like, I don't know. I feel like if I was in that situation, Salvo's dick comes out, I say, put that thing away, and I want to
put that thing away before
I kick you in the fucking nuts.
Put that thing away, and I want to go home now.
You fucking
put that thing back where it came from. Also, help me.
So help me.
If you pull your cock out in front of me, and I didn't explicitly ask you to, or give you a vibe that I wanted to, right? I'm kicking you in the nuts.
I'm just now picturing a moment where Beavis is like, right, can you please get your cock out for me, man?
Matt, I'd like to suck it.
I would agree that I just think there's so much dynamics in this car ride, and that's why it sucks so much to talk about, because there's a context that they all had sex the night before, so it's not necessarily like Salvo just pulled his dick out to a random girl. They all had sex last night, so there is that context.
One of them had sex the night before. Matt, we need to be very clear with what we're saying here.
Yeah, like I said, it's true. I was going to say, because obviously consent rolls over to the next day.
I'm really driving this kid with the point home.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying consent rolls over to the next day.
Oh, I'm kind of saying that, because Babs didn't say no, right?
What are you doing?
Well, she didn't. Well, technically, I don't know what D-Max is doing. He's on his own fucking...
he just changed personalities during this episode.
Listen, I'm just seeing things from a different perspective. I think that we should allow Edwin and Salvo back into the community. I think it would be a good thing.
All right, now you're fucking with us.
What do you mean?
No.
I agree with one of those.
Which one?
Edwin? No, Salvo. I like Salvo.
Really? You don't think Edwin should come back?
He's been through so much.
I think Edwin's gonna have a better time if he just goes and does his own thing. He's burnt too many bridges.
Well, I think he's like, I don't know. I just think he's. I think he should put out the fucking video, bro. Just put out the fucking video.
No, but not even that, right? Even if he puts out a video explaining his point of view on everything, right? It doesn't really matter because at the end of the day, Edwin's got his main channel, right? He's got his main fan base, and then he has this fan base, right? This fan base is a minuscule amount of what Edwin is, right? So, do I think he should put out a video on like his main channel or anything? No. Even his second channel? Probably not, right? Because more eyes on something is worse because then they're going to go and they're going to, come up with their own narratives. And that's the problem, right? Because it's a he said, she said thing. People are always going to come up with their own narratives, right? And they can be convinced by somebody else's perspective because there's no hard, evidence to look at. But the problem with Edwin is, I mean, at the end of the day, we don't matter, right? We're a nothing on the face of the internet and in the face of the community, right? They like to refer to them as like the group, right? They're not really the group. They're just the bigger YouTubers in the space, and he's pissed them all off by being a fake asshole, Right. So it's like what would you feasibly want here? Is what I'm saying. It's just.
I think he wants. I don't know. I think he wants vindication. I think that's what he wants.
But vindication for what?
I think the Keemstar show, whatever. I think he legit wants to be vindicated. But the problem is he hasn't done anything to be vindicated in the sense that he hasn't put out the fucking video.
I don't understand where the vindication would even come from, because if you look at the thing that happened with Olivia, right? Okay. Even though afterwards he said, "Oh, I stopped doing all the stuff about Mama Max and all of that stuff," right?
Yeah. Right.
If he's doing it as a professional that cares about the stuff that he's covering, right? He should have never gotten into that situation in the first place, right?
I can't disagree with that.
That is always going to be a sticking point. So regardless of how he tries to dress it up and say, "Oh, afterwards I stopped doing it and I wasn't friends with this person," and but it still happened. So I don't understand how he's ever going to address that, right? I don't understand how you can make the argument that Bobax and him weren't friends, right, on that level or whatever the case may be. But you're never going to change Bobax's perspective that they were and he fucked him over. You're never going to change that, right? Because that's what Bobax believes happened. And then Nick Diorio, you're not gonna change his perspective because you literally tried to dick suck him on a stream. Everybody saw that. That ain't going away, right? Augie doesn't give a shit.
Augie thinks Edwin's gay. That's
but so I don't understand what there is here for him to gain. Now he can go do his own thing, which is what I think they're doing, right? He can do his own thing that's tangentially involved, but I don't see anything productive coming out from him, putting out a video.
I think it's possible that he might become the anti-commentary channel.
Well, I was gonna say that. I was gonna say both of the Edwin and Salvo seem to be very anti-commentary now. They think everyone talks about the same topics, everyone talks about the same subjects, and they want to call them out for that. And it's I don't know.
And more power to them.
It's almost like Tom. Do you remember when Tommy used to say, the incestuous brotherhood? I don't know if you ever remember him saying that. But I feel like that's where Salvo and Edwin are. They think the commentary community is just a bunch of people who suck each other off.
But
Literally.
I say more power to them. If they want to go do that, and they want to try and keep the commentary community honest, right, in their own way of doing things, have at it, right? But what I'm saying is the thing with the reason that Edwin is fucked in the commentary community is not because of the car drive, and not because of the cat room, and not because of the Keemstar house, right? He's fucked because of the way that he behaved.
Yeah,
and that is known in the that's not going away. So I don't know, but yeah, do your own thing. Go over there. More power to you.
The thing is,
So
like,
how do you think Edwin could redeem himself?
He can't.
really?
No. Well,
I mean,
when you say redeem himself, do you mean redeem himself in the eyes of his peers?
Yeah.
How do you mean redeem himself?
I mean, I think if there was a video of him saving a baby from a fire, I think he would be redeemed, you know. But
No, God.
like,
Now he's going to put a baby in a fire.
Salvo puts the baby in the fire and calls out and like, all right, dude, you got 10 minutes. Like,
You better not fuck this up, or we're both going down.
if you fuck this up, this is it, man. This is all I got. This is our last chance.
All or nothing.
I don't know. I don't understand when people say like redeem, right? I don't know what he's trying to redeem. Because at the end of the day, if you're on the internet and you're
Go back to where he was before the incident is redeemed.
Well, what do you mean by that? Do you mean in the eyes of everybody else in the community, or do you mean in terms of viewership?
In general.
I think Edwin just wants good things.
No, but
to
they're two different things, right? Like, does Edwin need to be buddy with everybody and like have friends in the commentary community? No, he doesn't, right? Like, he can just do his own thing, have his own takes, do his own show, and he'll be perfectly fine, and he'll get an audience and do all of that, right? And if that's his way of redeeming himself, like getting back to where he was, kind of, then fine, right? That's one way. But in terms of like redeeming himself in like the eyes of his peers, like the people that do commentary, that ship has sailed, buddy. That shit's not happening. It's like if Salvo wanted to redeem himself. Like, there's so many people that think things about Salvo. Salvo can't redeem himself in their eyes. They're always going to think that about him. But he can go do his own thing and be like, fuck you, and build his stream up.
Yeah, what Mitch is saying, Mitch, is just make content. That's all he can really do at this point, right? Eventually, he's going to cover a story that like hits the algorithm. It's going to be like 8 months later. People are going to start forgetting, and like, you know, it'll be back to business as usual, I think, you know, and that's how it will go. I mean, the fact remains that Babs has now said on multiple occasions, multiple times, multiple platforms, nothing happened in that car that was illegal. It was just weird and awkward. She did use the word creepy and uncomfortable, but nothing illegal. No rape, no sexual assault, nothing of that nature. So in my opinion, Edwin can come back from that. Salvo probably should keep his dick in his pants at this point. And keep putting himself through tables. That was funny.
So does that mean if one of us gets cancelled, what, we're just going to keep chugging? Just keep on chugging?
Depends who it is.
Oh.
If Matt gets cancelled, this whole ship goes downhill so quick.
Oh, God. I mean, look, I'm the guy who thinks that everybody can be redeemed, you know? I say we allow Slug back, we allow Salvo back, we allow Edwin back, we allow Ghosty back. I say we let everybody back. I think, you know...
I agree with two of those.
Okay.
I'm
just saying.
What's your character you have with the red fucking apron over your mouth?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Bandito, D-Max.
Listen, all I'm saying is that I feel like we've been extremely, everybody has been completely and totally uncharitable to these guys. I was willing for this entire podcast to, you know, try to, again, put my biases to the side, have a good yuck, have a good laugh, you know, with my friends here at Now Recording. Please like, favorite, comment, subscribe, by the way, if you're still watching. You know, and I just, try things from a different point of view. And I think I learned some things, you know. I think the audience learned some things too. Babs is a
I hope they learned not
monster.
kink shame.
Yes, well, that too is that no kink shaming, no homophobia, and Babs is a, you know, Machiavellian psychopath. So
yeah.
Well,
all right.
Did I also mention that in the cat room, Edwin beat the ever living shit out of Babs?
Really?
Hold up.
Oh,
Something more important. What is a cat room?
He's still in the right. He's still in the right if that's true. I still believe.
What the fuck is a cat room?
Well, you know, Babs drinks so much that you could beat her up and she'd survive. It's like, you know that whole thing, like when people are in car accidents and then the person that's drunk lives and the people that are sober die.
Holy shit, dude.
Which is like every single DUI crash ever.
Yeah, that's exactly it. They just take the beating.
Are we ever gonna know what this goddamn cat room's about? Like, I seriously.
Is this when you've got like an insane amount of money that you can just have a room for your cat?
Right. The cat room was literally just a room where she had her kitten, right, or whatever, young cat in the room, right?
Okay.
And Edwin went into the wrong room accidentally, and she lost her shit. Now, what I think happened, right, and I can't know this. What I think happened is that room probably smells like shit.
Yeah.
Right? And it smells like kitty pee-pee and poo-poo. And being a woman in her like 20s, young, like early 20s, she was like, oh my God, it smells so bad in there. Right? Get out. And she lost her shit because she overreacted to the situation.
I thought it was like a cam room where she dressed up as like a cat. And she has like all cat toys and shit.
I'd pay
like
to
all
see
around
that.
the room, like for her OnlyFans.
You can't be serious.
Apparently she
well, she does OnlyFans.
You know, I wouldn't put it past that bitch Babs. All right, she's got all that kind of shit in the background. We all know what she's into.
Hey Babs, can you send me a picture of your tits? I heard they're nice.
I heard they're pierced.
Oh yeah, that's
Babs, don't unfollow me. Don't unfollow me. This is all a bit. Don't worry about it.
Hey Babs, want to go for a ride?
I want to do interstate travel with you, Babs.
Trust Beavers to king shame somebody a whole episode and then at the end be like, hey, can I see your tits?
I didn't king shame her.
You king shame people she was part of it. It's you king shame one in the group, you king shame all of them.
She was getting fucked. She was doing the normal thing.
Yeah,
she was getting fucked by Salvo.
She was like, she was like she was like Babs, present right here in the middle, you know, doing my thing, waiting for you guys. You know, and Edwin's just like, oh, I just want my Disney moment, and I'm just gonna lay here. I'm just gonna lay here and make out with you, and he just didn't want to have sex with her, dude. He didn't like her.
I mean, maybe when he says Disney moment, he wants her to be like a ride at like Disney World. You know what I mean? Like so many people have been on it.
Yeah, Dumbo, because she's a dumbass broad. Am I right, folks? Yeah.
You think Edwin like goes to bed at night and like looks up at the ceiling and he's just like, if I would have just not went to Buffalo with this woman, would be fine.
Well, you know, I will say this too, because he kept on talking about the canceling thing, and this is me taking my clown nose off, right? Honk honk, it's off. The cancellation thing, canceling is only something that you let happen to you. It is not something that people do to you. It's something you let happen to you. You going away was your prerogative and your thing. That like awkward stream that you had where you came back for the first time and it was really awkward with the chat doing the tomatoes and everything. Mm-hmm. If you had that like the week after this had broke and you had just consistently and kept doing it, you know, afterwards, I mean, like Matt said, it would have been maybe a rough month or two, but then it would have gone away and then something else would have come up and maybe people would have been like, you know, what even was that? I don't even remember anymore. There was a 3-hour car ride. You might have looked at Salvo's dick longingly. I don't know anything about that.
Listen, if JonTron can come back.
What I've never understood about the whole situation, right, is I think Matt made this point, right? Like if Babs goes on and she says like Salvo like fucked me or you know, whatever, right? Like at that point, why are you keeping quiet about your side? You know?
Yeah. Just come out.
It's not like you're teenagers and you're gonna get into trouble for it. You're adults. Just say what happened.
Right.
Just be like, yeah, fuck that.
I think I can give Edwin's side on this though, because I have talked to him, is that when I talked to him in the private call, it was more or less it was like this really like obviously, whether you like him or not, this fucked with him, right? He was having a lot of anxiety, he was having a lot of like issues, and he just wanted to, I guess, unplug from it all and back off because this was really like was detrimental to his mental health. I think I remember him saying something like that to me. So that's his explanation. I'm not saying that's a defense or anything, but that's his explanation of why he didn't just come out right away. Because when that first call, when he talked to me, it was all like it was fucking fire and brimstone. He's like, I'm coming out. I'm doing a video on Olivia and fucking Babs. We're going hard. We're doing this. Like I got all my evidence, and I'm like, bro, if you got all your evidence and the stuff you're showing me, like the screenshots and the videos and stuff, because he's got vlogs of Babs being, you know, kind of joking about stuff before, and for context, is before all of this happened. He's got recorded calls. He's got this weird fucking call with fucking Repzilla, who stepped in to mediate, and the whole call is Repzilla being like, "So Edwin, Edwin's like, yo, I just don't like. She was like yelling at me in the cat room, and Rebzilla's like, well, you see, Babs, you were yelling at him in the cat room, and it was just not. He was just not feeling like you were respecting him, and that gave him a lot of anxiety. And Babs would be like, no. Well, you see, Edwin, what she's saying here is, she's just really angry at you because you don't seem to care about her. Like, it was just literally like him translating emotions to these two. It's fucking bizarre. I hope he releases that call. It's fucking weird, dude.
And just so everybody is aware too, Edwin lives in I was going to say the state, but I don't know if that's public. He lives in a state where it is a single party consent state, so he can just record any phone call. So remember, folks, Edwin can record any phone call. Hold on one second. I need to get my hold on, wait. It's on the other side of the room. Give me a second. Wait. Edwin can call you, and he can record it against your will if he wants to. All right, that's it.
He did it to me. No, I'm just kidding.
Also, I want to throw this in here since I don't really want to talk about this again, right? And I have an opportunity to say this. I don't like what I said this to Matt. I don't like what Babs was doing, right, throughout all of this. Whenever people are on streams and stuff like that, she would be like, "Oh, I've got the screenshots, right?
Yeah.
Or, oh, I've got the text. Oh, yeah, keep going, buddy." Right? I'm like, that's not cool.
Also,
further to what Beavers just said, I did some math here, right? Okay, if we live another 40 years, right, and we deduct the hours that we sleep, if we sleep an average of 8 hours a night, that's 175,000 hours that we have of living, waking life left, all right? We just spent 0.0006% of what we have left in our lives, waking lives, talking about the sexual acts of people that we don't necessarily like.
And I think what we've all
that is
learned
a horrifying
I
statistic.
love
what
it
we've
all.
learned from what Mitch has just said is that he is autistic.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a true fact.
I think Edwin is based and red-pilled, and Salvo is the dick fucking jacking champion of the world.
That's right.
And Babs should know her place.
That's right, Babs. Know your fucking place. It's
Fucking
in the cat room. That's the kitchen. What?
I think Babs is just pissed, bro, and she just went off, and now we're here. That's what I think. Nothing illegal happened, therefore let's move on. That's what I think. Edwin, put out your video. Get a nice, precise story out there with timestamps and text and screenshots to back you up. Stop getting angry at everybody else for not covering it. And you defend yourself, all right? That's what I'm thinking. That's my advice. Just fucking go full speed ahead. You and Salvo, I guess.
And if that comes out in 3 months from now, Matthew, I will not be on the podcast when you want to cover it.
This is it. This is it,
I
buddy.
am done.
This is it. It's it. Listen, I thought this is now recording drama now, guys. I was like, I mean, this story
isn't now recording drama. This is fucking Jerry Springer drama.
Which is now recording drama. Let's be honest. Look, it's just at this point, it was just like, all right, fine. You know what? I'll fucking talk about it. Like, what? It's a topic to talk about. It's a topic we talked. It's a topic. It's a stream that got us 3,000 views on a live stream. So yeah, I think it's fair to talk about it. Yeah, I'm for that. I'll talk about it. Yeah. So we talked about it. Now, will Edwin and Salvo be okay with this? I don't know. That's your opinion at this point.
Isn't it so sad that we milked this, but Edwin didn't get milked?
You know what would be really fucking sad is if out of all of this they get pissy, they target the weakest member of this group, but also the one that stuck up for them the most. That'd be really fucking sad.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, are we wrapping up? Because I want to take this clown nose off. It's hard to breathe in this thing.
Yeah, go for it. Go ahead.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. So here's the thing. Look, I've been trolling throughout most of this fucking thing, as it's very blatantly obvious. I've been stupid and bad, and I would like to apologize deeply to Babs. There is a gray area here. It's not black and white. I think that it's ridiculous for anybody to have the black and white perspective when it comes to this thing. This is a matter of the heart. It's always going to be coming down to a matter of perception. Babs is a woman who is not a content creator. She doesn't know what it's like or how to actually engage with this type of dialogue where you have a back and forth and you collect your evidence and all that stuff. She's trying to catch up to that at the same time as these two guys, specifically Edwin, who is well versed in this type of thing, where he's doing his thing, in the meantime. So I don't think that it's like I kind of get where she's at with if she did say anything where it's like, oh, well, I've got this and I've got that. It's like, what do you want her to do? She doesn't really, know anything. I think that legitimately my actual 2 cents about this, and I would challenge anybody to, say otherwise, is that Salvo can't be trusted. He's a person who lies. He likes to lie. He likes to troll. He likes to do all that stuff. He's known for doing that. I don't think you can really take anything he says seriously. It's, you have, or at least you have to take it with a grain of salt. Edwin, again, is a person who is like a palm tree in the breeze. He's going to bend whatever direction he needs to. Was he duped in this whole instance with the Babs and everything? And, I don't know. Like, I don't know about that. Like, but I do think that Edwin, dude, like, I don't know about Salvo, being gay or whatever. He admitted to it before, and then he said that he was lying about it. So I don't know. But I would just say for both of them, legitimately, actually, with clown nose off, I will say, if you're gay, it's okay. It's 2023. Nobody's going to shame you for it. So just come out with it. If that's a part of the thing and you did touch his dick, it's okay. Just say that. Just say you touched his dick. It's fine.
Okay. All right.
At least Edwin would have gotten something that night. That was okay.
I'm sure he had a snack.
Oh, I'm sure Salvo is the whole snack.
Whoa! I never heard you be like that, D-Man. That's the first time.
All right. Let's see. Any last impressions there, Beavers, Mitch, Core?
No king shaming.
I got something.
Sure.
So first of all, we gotta have the artist draw this. Mitch as a Pizza Hut delivery guy, and showing up to.
We're not getting into this. We're not getting into this.
I don't want to get this.
Moving on.
I gotta say the fucker's name at the end of every episode, anyways.
No, you don't. He ended his membership.
So it's still there. Still there.
But it's not being renewed. Yeah, it's not being renewed. He said he wasn't renewing it.
So Mitch, would you deliver pizzas with Edwin and Babs in the back?
Yeah. How much they tip?
They only put the tip in.
Yeah, only a little at first.
I just want a good tip. I want a big tip. Good big tip.
Well, Salvo can't get
way,
hard. So.
You guys don't know this, but Mitch is wearing a Pizza Hut hat right now.
Well, shit. All right. Well, in that case, I think we've talked about this ad nauseum, like we've talked about this before. And like before, the car ride ends with no conclusion whatsoever because there's not enough information to come out to anyone to base it.
It's like the documentary on the disappearance of MH370. It's like we already know all the facts, but we're going to go over them, and it's got the same conclusion, which is we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know what happened in that car. We don't know what happened that night. Edwin got cucked. But I don't know. I just think I think Edwin can come back from this if he just starts making content and doing his thing. Obviously, he's got a bit of.
If he just does not give a shit about what other people think about him, right, and he just moves past that and he just makes content, can come back.
Yeah, and he's
like John.
Yeah, and he just has but if he comes back and he has a hate boner for everybody, and he's like, oh, Xylee. Well, let's see what you got here, huh? What's these timestamps? Ooh, Riveter, what's going on with you, buddy? Ooh, Maggot Edits. Ooh, 8030. Ooh, fucking Nicholas DiOrio, Bull Black. Like, if he's going to go insane, bro. He's going to lose his fucking mind.
You know the Charlie Day meme?
That's a lol cow.
You know the Charlie Day meme where he has like a board and he has like it's just pointing everywhere? That's what I think Edwin is like right now. He's literally just looking for like patterns everywhere.
Yeah. Look, put out your video, put out your side of the story. I think one point that helps you is you try to tell your side of the story on a live stream, and boom, there was Babs right there. So Like, she is getting in the middle of stuff, and I think that's fair. It's like, I think Babs should just like back off and just let him tell his side of the story.
Do you think that Edwin is actually going to make this video?
Yes,
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah,
I think
in
so.
like 3 months.
That's what I'm
think-
saying.
I mean, look, if he doesn't make that video, then I got nothing for the guy.
I'll be
Like,
honest with you. Like, I kind of feel like he shouldn't. And this is me not even like I'm not trying to like anything. I'm just saying like if he came to me for advice, I would say don't make this video, don't talk about this anymore, and just make content. Like, just go do your thing, because like I just feel like everybody's kind of already in their preconceived notions. They've got their side bias, to tie it back to the beginning, and they're not going to be able to. Be able to get past that, really. I don't know if it's going to matter what kind of facts or anything that you're gonna have, because this is always going to come down to your opinion. If you can understand Babs in her situation and feel that, then you're going to side with Babs. If you don't, then you're going to side with Edwin and Salvo. I mean, that's just what it seems like to me.
I think that is a fair assessment. I have been noticing, and this is like in the smaller than us type situation, that there are people that were on Babs's side that have now kind of like reevaluated the story and are more kind of getting closer on Edwin's side. I'm not, but like that has been happening, not into the degree of like Nicholas Diorio or Bo Black's jumping sides or anything like that, but like that live stream did convince some people. And what I've seen is it's more. I think you said something, Max, was like it's kind of biased. Like, if you don't like Edwin, you don't like Salvo. You thought the car ride was weird. You saw that conversation on stream, and you saw two guys railroading, metaphorically, a girl.
Because it didn't happen that night.
Yeah,
But
but if you are more pro Salvo, more pro Edwin, more trying to like see what their side of the story was, you saw Babs jumping in the middle while Edwin was trying to tell his side of the story. So, like, the truth is,
both of them had reasons for one. Both of them for the community had like there was people in the community who had personal bona fides against both of them, and so they were trying to find an attack vector, and this was a very successful one. It was a very kind of like easy one to go, specifically for Salvo, because that infidelity thing. I mean, that's a hard thing to crack. That's a hard thing to shirk off. That there was infidelity. It's like that's kind of a smoking gun for that. I guess my point is just that, like, guys, like I just don't, I don't understand the saying that this is all a lie, or saying whatever, like, aspects of this are a lie. It's just like, does that really matter? It's like, it happened. Like what? It's like, why are you, it's like, again, like, I keep on making a joke of it, but like the whole, like, trying to defend that they're gay or not gay, it's like, that just, like, to anybody who doesn't know the situation, the more that you say, I'm not gay, I didn't do that, I didn't touch his dick, it's like, well, it kind of feels like you're hiding it, for people in a certain perspective. So again, that's why I feel like, why are you even talking about this? Like, just move on.
Sometimes though, when you hide it, it makes you look like you're trying to hide something as well. So it's like double-sided like that. Like, it no matter what you do, sometimes you're fucking yourself up.
Well, that's true anyway. But what I'm saying is, if you want the story to die, then the best thing to do is to just go forward and just be like, I mean, if you feel so inclined and you feel like there's something that needs to be addressed, then address it once, and that's it, and then move on, right? But they didn't do that. That's not what happened. There was a slow trickle of information at the very beginning of this, and then they went radio silent, and then they came back, and now they're starting to do a slow trickle of information again. It's like, why not just do the whole, like, dump of the information? I don't think Edwin, like, if Edwin was going to take that amount of time away from all of this, he should have just come back with the video.
I think Edwin is a follower. And
take Quiet. I mean, the Quiet situation is a perfect example of this. It's like, that was a perfect situation where you are shirking a sexual assault charge. You wait, you go silent, you wait, you accrue your evidence, you build your video, and you put it out. And then everybody goes, wow, what a great video. They share it around. They go, okay, so this whole narrative is completely destroyed, right? Within the first 5 minutes of the video. It's perfect. It's chef kiss. What does Edwin do? He waits until Salvo makes a stream, and then he calls in so that he can have a buddy to back him up. That seems weak. It's like if I'm trying to be unbiased about this, it seems weak. Yeah, and it continues.
I think Edwin's kind of like a follower in the sense that I think he feels more comfortable being around Salvo while telling his story. I don't know, like, I guess that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like on streams. But
Daddy Salvo.
But at the same time, I want to see the video.
at the end of the day, like all this is well said and done, but nothing illegal happened, right?
Yes.
And if Babs feels like something did, she needs to go to the police and make a police report.
Yes.
Other than that, I don't know why this is being blown out of proportion.
Thank you, Phil.
All right, and on that note, Matt, send us out.
Well, some people might say Edwin might be bad with money. Well, you know who also is bad with money? Our members, Bad with Money members, Fan Fiction Narrator, Fresh Brewski, Twitter Geek the Retard, Mame, Brian, and Stefan Corbino. They are our Bad with Money people. If you want to be bad with money, you pay $14.99 a month, and we'll say your name at the end of the recording as well as the live streams. You also could, if you can't afford that, we have the $4.99, which will get you the Discord server, membership streams, all of that. And if you want to be put in priority calls when we're taking calls during our live streams, that is the $5.99 one, I think, or maybe $6.99. And
it was $7.99.
It might be $7. I don't.
$8.99.
Kill myself. And remember, if you're driving along, make sure to keep both hands on the wheel, eyes on the road. And if you got a girl in your back seat, don't take out your dick. I don't know. Thank you, everyone.
Unless she asked you to.
Yeah, unless she asks. And unless consent is given. Remember, everyone, now recording is always recording. Goodbye.
Salvo, please answer my DMs. I want you to be in my version of Rent. I'm trying to get you as Angel. Okay, that's it.
And if she doesn't ask, give her the Puss in Boot eyes.
True.
He would make a
Always
horrible
works.
angel.
60% of the time, it works every time.
Bye.
I hate you all.